testing the Hanse 410 this morning. Right, hi guys. We had a few questions on the E-wincher video that we did. Why I use one. I had a broken collarbone and a frozen shoulder. For me, it's a handy bit of kit. Philippe at E-wincher have sent us a new one. Really nice bag. Folded open. You have 2 lithium batteries and the handle itself, and we'll get the handle out in a second. There is a cigarette style charger from your boat, or if you actually need the plugs. So there's your main charger, and the battery just pops into it like so. And this is the main winch handle. So I'm going to put the battery on, show you how to do it. What I'm going to do is get Elliot from Inspiration Marine, because I can't feel myself doing it, just to show you how easy it is. Going to put the mainsail up. And it's as easy as that, you know, to turn your manual winch into an electric winch. So when you actually put the winch on or unclip it, it's universal. There's a small clip underneath. Just pop it in and lift it off, and it will fit any winch. There you go. Brilliant. I'll just demonstrate something very quickly. To activate it, you have a button at the top here underneath, so it's a dual speed winch, and this is your main winch button and winch handle. So the handle is able to turn with a soft grip. Just here is an LED light indicating direction for you, and if you wish you can use it as a manual winch. So one way is your soft clicker and opposite way is fast. And it's the same if you're doing it the electric. So, actually, well, I'll just do the buttons quickly. Yeah?
Yeah.
So pushing the button this way, she's fast. And then if I bring the winch over to this side, drop down to a lower speed. Elliot's kindly going to demonstrate how easy it is. He's just going to push the button in. Mainsail's going up, and then if you need extra power while the electric's going, you can, that's it, you can turn the handle as well at the same time. Oh, is that going the other way around? It's pretty quick, isn't it?
It's pretty quick, yeah, it is.
Yep, very nice bit of kit. I don't know what else I can say about this. I'm not doing a very good sponsored video. I'm sure I'm going to get told off. steering, electronic throttle controls, not my choice. I would rather have mechanical throttle controls, but it's one of those things. You have bow and stern thrusters. For me, I would definitely keep the bow thruster. Stern thruster as an option. I would rather pay the upgrade on a larger engine, which I believe is a 56 horsepower Yanmar. Raymarine Hybrid Touch navigation, my favourite. If you're interested, we had an average true wind speed of between 15 and 18 knots when we were out actually in the Solent, and a sustained apparent wind speed between 13 and 14 knots, which isn't too bad. Slightly overcast day, pointing her upwind to about 40 degrees where she was very comfortable. We were averaging say 6.5, at most 7 knots. That was really pushing it. Downwind, very comfortable. She sat really nicely, and we averaged sort of around 5.5 knots to 6 knots at times. Much more comfortable ride. On both pedestals you have the option for additional instruments, and you have your Yanmar start-stop engine controls here too. Autopilot can be set up, and there was an extra autopilot on the port hull. This yacht was fitted out with 2 Lumar 45 self-tailing electric winches. The electric winch is an option. This was set up both port and starboard, and they had forward the optional Lumar manual self-tailing winches too. But with an E-wincher, it's entirely up to you how you want to do it, and your bank or cassette of clutches. As I may have mentioned before, it's German main sheet system. This one set up 2 with a self-tacking jib, but the 410 comes with options of a Genoa. If you wish, I would choose the Genoa. I will admit I'm starting to like the ease of a self-tacking jib. Give a big thank you to the Michael Schmidt partners, Inspiration Marine, especially for Elliot for taking me out today and letting me use the 410. Hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to come to the Southampton Boat Show this year. It'll be a first for us because normally we do Cannes and La Rochelle. La Rochelle Boat Show, they've changed the date so we can do Southampton as well. There will be most likely a possibility to be able to go out on other boats for these guys. They're sort of opening things up for us. So if you have any questions whatsoever about this boat, about the Fjord motorboat, about the Hanse 460 or any of the Hanse range, let me know in the comments below. We can get a hold of these guys, and if they've got a boat available we can get out and do a sail test. They're very open for letting us on board. which is really, really good. And I'll leave their details in the description below too, so that if you're in the UK or you're looking to buy a boat in the UK and so on, you can get hold of them directly, get on their website. You know me, I'm not a broker, I'm just here because I love showing you the boats, testing the boats. It's what we do. Okay, port side, just on the left of the companionway. L-shaped galley, plenty of light. So lift off for your 2-burner gimbal stove. This is the 3-cabin version. There's plenty of light in here. At the Cannes Boat Show we looked at the 2-cabin version. Inspiration Marine have a 2-cabin version here as well for us to have a look at, so you can compare directly. So typical of Hanse, you have a top loading and bottom access to the fridge, which is brilliant. A lot of the other manufacturers are doing that. And plenty of drawer space, self-closing. Something I quite like at the back, there are areas back here for storage. If you can hear that rumble behind me, we're under power. It's quite interesting. It's quite nice and quiet in here actually. And 3 overhead lockers in your galley. There is an opening hatch just above the cooker and one just up here, which is actually underneath the spray hood. So any of those cooking smells can go directly outside. Right by me is one of the cabins, double cabins. So on the 2-cabin version, this is actually a workshop utility area for putting stuff. There is an opening hatch that goes into the cockpit and one up above here. Lazarette space, so you can see the divider here. So this would be where that false wall was, which then extends. You'll see the images coming up, we'll transfer over, which then extends, gives you more galley. Quite nice. Typical with Hanse, you've got 2 reading lights, red light and normal white light, and there are USB charging underneath. Port light's quite nice, you've got a relatively nice view out there, as you can see the tides out. And then a locker either side, one hanging, one shelves, and access, excuse me for turning guys, there is access to your mechanical department just here. There is as you go in the cabin, which is pretty good, so you have a reasonably sized area if you need to get changed, and head height and 5'8", 5'9", there's plenty of head height and a nice little seat behind me. Dual stainless steel sink and hot and cold fresh water. I think Hanse have actually listened quite well to the customers, so as you come down the companionway you've actually got some nice handholds both sides of the companionway. They've been wrapped in stitched leather, which is nice. And just coming forward, so if you're making your way forward, there is a grab handle on the side of the galley. This little cupboard down here is for like your bin space and so on. And then the usual, which I quite like, is the touch button lights, control and go through it by Hanse. They've increased the size of the splashback, which is really good. So if you have guests sitting on your nice U-shaped settee area, you know, only getting splashback there. You have 2 port lights, both port and starboard, and 2 opening hatches up above, and a really big one centrally with a dorade. And oops, mosquito netting and privacy blinds, so on all the hatches. Very nice cockpit table. Both the leaves, we've got one folded out for you to see. Both the leaves fold out, and there's easily seating for 6. Easy. And a nice, very, very nice Heidi drawer. Starboard side, before we go too far, I'll show you the heads and shower. It's quite nice on a 40-foot boat. They've actually got a separate shower, so you're not having to worry about wet heads. Hot and cold fresh water. I'll get in there in a second so you can see how much space you've got. And a fold down seat, which is very, very handy. This one has been set up with a Jabsco freshwater electric flush. I think it's manual as standard. Plenty of space underneath, and some Corian moulded tops for your tap and sink. Hey guys, so hot and cold water taps. This will actually pull out if you want it for, I don't know, flushing out the toilet or cleaning the heads area or just washing your hair, whatever. And then just over that, a handy locker. You have an opening port light and an opening hatch. So I'll get in the shower. So I think there's actually plenty of room in here. Like I say, for a 40-foot boat, got a lot of space. You know, what more could you ask for, really? Give you an idea, the head height is huge. You know, so if you're over 6 foot, you're going to be able to get in here, no problem at all. Ow. And then the starboard cabin. So as you can see, this one doesn't have the lazarette, so you get extra headroom. It's full of cockpit cushions at the moment. I know I should have taken them out for you, but it's a quick tour. We spent too much time sailing, not enough time filming. So, good hanging locker. There is an opening hatch to the side, port light, and an opening hatch up above my head. And once again, you have access to mechanical space here. There's really nice cabins actually for this size boat. And this is where it gets cool. One of the things that Hanse have done is all the different options that you can have now on the 410, on the 460, of changing, of whether you have a nav station area, whether you have an extra fridge or freezer, a work table, all sorts of bits and pieces, and we'll go through that more. Just under the companionway, we have the engine. You have access on both sides, which we showed you in the cabins. Boat's been fitted out with the standard Yamaha 39 horsepower engine. They did upgrade to the folding prop, which I think is actually a wise upgrade. There is an upgraded engine which is a 56 horsepower if you wish. I think it all depends on where you're sailing, to be perfectly honest. If you want to take it out into bigger waters, get the upgraded engine because you're going to need the extra power. But if I have a choice, I would always go for the folding prop, and most likely 40 foot and upwards, the bow thruster. Right, so over in the corner you have the sea strainer, oil filters. You can pretty much, because both sides come off, you can get all the way around the engine. Very, very easy to service. There we go. Really nice log settee, or chaise longue if you want to call it that. So great for a sea berth too. I quite like the nav workstation setup. It gives you a space underneath to, you know, put all your gubbins. There's enough space to have a laptop. And just above up here, this one's been set up with a screen, so you can put your chart plotter and so on there if you want, or just watch some telly. Red light or standard light, USB charging. You have your Fusion Stereo Raymarine VHF, your portable Raymarine setup, and then just up here you have all your switches and bits and pieces. 3 overhead lockers on the starboard side, and you have 4 over on the port side, so plenty of locker space. And then we'll come forward, master compression post, and then we'll come forward to the owner's suite. You have your light switches just as you go in through the door here. There are several options for the owner's suite. This one's been set up with the heads, so have a look at that in a sec. You have a semi-island double bed. It's really nice and decent height too, so they have given you a step up. I'll show you the drawer underneath. You have a drawer underneath. And as you can see there, bow thruster, electric shut off there for the battery. Just to my right, behind the door, so we'll close that, a shelving unit, very large hanging locker. Just above that, so as you come through the door, you have a smaller overhead hatch, and then either side on this unit there are some handy drawers too. I think the veneer's not too bad. It's, you know, they've got all the wood grain lining up, which is very important, and if it's done in lengthways, I think it's a trick that some of the higher end yachts use, bespoke yachts use. If the grain is actually level going in the length of the boat, it actually stretches out the size of the boat. Very nice. So 1, 2, 3, 6 overhead lockers, 2 opening hatches up above, which I think is really good. Once again, mosquito fly screen, or, you know, and privacy blind. So excellent. 2 very nice port lights, and just above your head there is another opening hatch. So plenty of light, plenty of ventilation. It's really nice. I'll just come back here and we'll go into the owner's heads. This is a wet heads, you're all the way forward. It's a 40-foot boat, so you know you have a separate shower down that end if you want it. And then this one they've kept the standard here, which is, you know, my preference. Jabsco manual flush toilet. Got everything you need really, sink and cabinets. Anyway, yeah, very good. And opening hatch, so plenty of space. It's been well set up.